Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Just one more drop. There we go. Of bliss. Everyone all set, cocked, locked, blissed. Here we go. Your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. We're delighted you're here. Nathan is engineering the broadcast in Minnesota. Dr. Norman Shealy is with us. Dr. Shealy, are you blissed?
I'm blessed. Yay, yay. Go, team, go.
There's a link to all of your instructors on the website, USAPrepares.com, USAPrepares.com. Nathan is engineering at GCN today. It's delightful to have Nathan with us. And, you know, Dr. Shealy, I was at a preparedness expo over the weekend, and I was in the seminar. I was giving a seminar, and a man ran up from the rear part of the seminar seating area, and he showed me his cell phone, which was a smartphone. And, you know how I feel about that. But he had this display, and it looked like a radiation warning display. And it said high levels of radiation. So he has this system that detects, an application that detects high levels of radiation, and he gets these alerts on his phone, and he got one in the seminar room. And we talked about that. And then we had, we were on the broadcast, a classroom, and John Regan was talking about, there was a high level of radiation in Kansas City where we were. And he announced that over the weekend. And we heard this loud boom about 10 days ago. I mean, it was not like it was longer than a shotgun blast, shorter than an earthquake. It was boom. And the monitors in the studio were shaking. And then I got a call from someone who has his ear to the ground. He said, there was a nuclear detonation a couple hundred miles away, and I have not tracked that down. So this is just all rumor at this point. Let's call it just a rumor, not fact. And, it's just, there seems to be a lot of radiation in the air based on the NETC.com website. So my question, Dr. Shealy, is what would radiation in the air that we breathe be doing to us?
Well, if you're pregnant, it could have a horrendous effect on the baby in the uterus. Once you're born, it's a cumulative long-term effect. But I would say that if this level is above what it was, let's say, 5 years ago, before the Fukushima explosion, and it was an explosion, by the way, it would probably just increase the incidence of cancer by 25% across the nation, and other problems, and probably shorten life expectancy 5 or more years. But other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, nothing to worry about.
So you take all the things that are happening to us, like fluoride and reducing our IQ, and you add this to it. It's absolutely unacceptable. Well, I'm looking at a map right this minute. And in Idaho, there is a Radcon 3, which is an elevated radiation level. In Idaho, California, Well, let's see. California has a Radcon 3. Texas has a Radcon 3. Michigan has a Radcon 3. Above New York State, in Quebec, Radcon 3. Then, let's see, how about Florida? Okay. Then if you go just a little less radiation, we're down to Radcon 2. I'm looking at the NETC website. If you look at that, you'll see that Radcon 2 will start with, Connecticut, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Illinois, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, California, and Idaho. Now, if you look at just Radcon 1, it looks like the only states that don't have radiation of elevated levels would be North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa, Ohio, Louisiana, Mississippi. At this moment. Looks like all the other states do. So, Dr. Shealy, now the question is, since we know that the radiation levels are elevated almost 24 hours a day, almost every day in the United States, multiple locations, probably 30 locations in the United States all the time, what do we do?
Well, I don't know anything that we can do other than be sure that every single individual is taking iodine. At least it can help protect the thyroid from further radiation damage. Now, I have contended for 2 decades that thyroid across the board has already been damaged enough that thyroid is less than half the size it was 60 years ago. And so everybody, every human adult, and I would guess, I'm not quite sure at what age to start, what dose in children, but even children, even babies, probably should be getting some iodine, maybe just 150 micrograms a day. By the time you get to age 5, maybe 300 micrograms a day, and by the time you get to age 12, maybe 450 micrograms a day, and by the time you get to more or less adulthood, you need at least 900 micrograms a day. That's just to protect to some extent, from the radiation destroying the thyroid gland.
So, Dr. Shealy, when I was growing up, we had a television in the house. We didn't watch it very much, but there would be commercials for Morton salt. And there are 2 things about Morton salt that they would say in these commercials, or even on the print advertisements in magazines. It rains when it pours. It pours when it rains. I think it's something like that. meaning it wouldn't get stuck in the box. Okay. It would come out when it was raining, meaning moisture didn't affect it too much. Well, sort of. And then the other thing is, they would say that it was iodized, as if that was good for you. Do you think that there's a correlation between the radiation and the salt being iodized?
Well,
do you think they tried
salt
to make
was iodized back in the 20s because it was recognized that we don't get enough salt, iodine in our diet, and Gorda was extremely common back then.
Okay.
So it was raised so that theoretically, if you got a quarter of a teaspoon of iodized salt a day, you'd get about 150 micrograms of iodine. Now, basically, that might have been good until 1945. But as the amount of radiation in the 40s zoomed way up there, far greater than had occurred over the previous 5 billion years, we should have raised the natural needed intake way back then to maybe 500 micrograms a day or more. And it wasn't done. And then there are 2 other things. 50% of the salt sold today is still not iodized. Secondly, doctors for over 50 or 60 years have been saying don't eat salt. So
Right.
people have tried to minimize salt, and that's not good. I did a study back over 20 years ago that demonstrated that the minimum needed was about 900 micrograms a day, and most people did well with 1,500 micrograms a day, which is 10 times the recommended daily intake.
Dr. Shealy, I've been experimenting with salt, and I've been increasing the amount of salt that I take, not overdoing it, but just if I have sliced fresh tomatoes, I'll put some salt on there and a little bit of ground black pepper. And I have to tell you, I feel better when I'm out in the sun and I have a little more salt than normal. I really do. And I'm wondering if our diets are, or at least my diet was deficient in the amount of salt I was taking, because I wouldn't put salt on anything. We didn't put the salt shakers out. They're not on the table. It wasn't a common thing here at our house.
Well, but, actually, I would say a majority of Americans, unless they eat a lot of, prepared junk foods, packaged foods, don't get adequate salt.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's one of the reasons that we have this epidemic of hypothyroidism.
Wow. So we need to have the iodine, and all right. So what are the best ways that we should consume iodine and get the right amount in the right type of iodine?
Well, basically, you can get a liquid product from a company called Biotics, Biotics, and it has 75 micrograms per drop. In my research study, I used 20 drops on everybody, all adults. And that was great. 60% of people who had a low body temperature had their body temperature return to normal within a month just by taking 1,500 micrograms a day. That's 1.5 milligrams.
Mm-hmm.
And I experimented then in myself, because my temperature when I started that study was 97 orally, which is way below normal. And my only symptom was that the only thing I thought was a symptom was I didn't sweat practically at all. I bragged about the fact I could go in the sauna and didn't need a towel because I didn't sweat.
Hold that thought. We're going to a commercial break. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Dr. Norman Shealy is with us, and if you'd like to go to his website and get the same newsletter that I receive multiple times per week, normshealy.com, NORMSHEALY.com, normshealy.com. Dr. Shealy, you're talking about biotics research, their liquid iodine. And I found it on the internet for about $11 for a 2-ounce bottle.
That is correct.
And you're recommending how many drops per day?
A minimum of 20.
20 drops per day. And
Now,
do you know how long this 2-ounce bottle would last?
Oh, it'll
About a
last
month?
over a month.
Over a month, okay.
Now, you can get it as a capsule called Iodoral, Iodoral. That's 12.5 milligrams. So I suggest people take one a week of that. Or you can get it even less expensively as Swanson's triple iodine formula. Again, 12.5 milligrams in each capsule for one a week.
Okay, so your recommendation is 12.5 milligrams per week?
Right.
Okay. 12.5 milligrams per week. And I was looking up some of the symptoms for radiation side effects, and nausea and vomiting, spontaneous bleeding, bloody diarrhea, hair loss, severe fatigue, mouth ulcers. I don't know anyone who has who doesn't think that he or she has enough energy. Most people think that, boy, I wish I had more energy. And so do you think that we are suffering from a lack of energy as a result of the radiation in the air? Have you correlated that? Or is that something that we don't know at this point?
We don't know.
Okay.
I can just tell you that I think, the harm that's already been done to the earth will never, not in thousands of years, be undone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I can tell you right this minute, I just did a refresh on the netc.com website. And Missouri has, there are 3 RadCon 3, which is of concern, radiation levels. Now, it's in Kansas, but on the Missouri border. It's in Illinois on the Missouri border, and it's in Arkansas on the Missouri border. So there are 3 raised levels of radiation at the RADCON 3 level surrounding Missouri on 3 sides. And if you're in Michigan, you are at RADCON 4. Let's see, who else? Idaho, RADCON 4. It just doesn't look good, Dr. Shealy. It's like every day. And if you move over on this map to Japan, it's like a third of Japan is lit up. A third of Japan is lit up. Highly, a lot of monitoring stations with elevated radiation levels. Let me just go there right now. Take me just a second to get there. I'm flying over on this screen to Japan. Okay, wow. There is a RADCON 2 in Japan. Actually, there's 2 of them in southern Japan, and then the rest of southern Japan is really lit up, and then northern Japan is really lit up, really lit up. So if you want to take a look and see what I'm seeing, just netc.com. Dr. Shealy, another thing I'd like to share with you is some thoughts I have about cell phones. And you know that I'm taking a really hard line on cell phones. We don't have a lot of rules in our house. We really don't. We lead by example. Mrs. Finelli and I lead by example. And that's how we shared experiences with our children. And one thing we did not do was whisper. We did not whisper in our house. And I'll tell you why when we come back. And I'll tell you how, class, I'll tell you how it relates to cell phones. And I think that this actually may be a contributing factor to the demise and the destruction of our families. Whispering. We'll be right back.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
No way. Is that a real bullet necklace?
No, it's a 9mm bullet necklace with matching earrings, you'll notice.
Those are awesome. Where'd you get them?
Dave found them at patriotnecklace.com.
Wow.
They have a variety of calibers and necklaces and earrings and keychains.
Patriotnecklace.com?
Patriotnecklace.com.
Your choice of caliber bullet includes a rugged American-made stainless steel dog tag chain. A percentage of every sale goes to military and service-related charities. And get a discount by entering GCN at checkout. Show your patriotism and support our troops with a bullet necklace from patriotnecklace.com.
You pick up the receiver with your heart racing and sweat dripping from your forehead. You finally muster the courage to dial the number to call into your favorite talk radio show. It rings once, twice, and then...
Hello, it's GCN. What's your name and the state you're calling from?
Surprised you got through, you squeak out.
Jason from Minnesota.
Please hold.
As you patiently wait for your turn, you begin to daydream about being a famous talk radio host and what it would be like to have your own show.
Jason from Minnesota, you're up.
Millions of loyal listeners worldwide waiting to call and talk to you.
Caller, are you there?
Cheering crowds surround you, calling out your name.
Jason! Going once, twice. Okay, we gotta move on to the next caller.
You blew it.
Huh? Wait, no!
Interact with the host you're listening to right now, online at GCNlive.com. Click on the community link. Engage with other listeners. Ask questions. Start debates. Don't agree with the host? Let them know. Be a part of the community at GCNlive.com.
KDArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the most affordable body armor period, with packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. Why would you go anywhere else? KD offers soft armor and rifle threat rated armor up to level 4. Go to KDArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free water purification kit for a limited time with any body armor package. Go to KDArmor.com. That's CATI armor.com. Come and take it.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares Unfiltered and Untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares Untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Do you have difficulty taking supplements? Are you searching for a high-quality, complete nutritional drink that your whole family will love? NutriMedical's Life Support has arrived. All of your daily nutritional requirements in one quick, delicious drink. Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support is a proprietary blend of vegan protein, activated vitamins, essential minerals, amino acids, probiotics, green tea, digestive enzymes, anti-inflammatories, cancer prevention, detoxification, and much more. Your body will high-five you for this one. Life Support is the best complete nutritious meal replacement on the market. Whether you are an elite athlete, have post-operative challenges, chronic illness, elderly, or a family that just wants a quick, delicious drink, try Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support for optimized nutrition in one great tasting smoothie. Just add cold water, almond milk, fruit, or anything else you like. NutriMedical's Life Support. Try our great tasting chocolate or vanilla today. Call 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com. NutriMedical.com for the whole family.
And I started to talk about that we don't have very many rules here at our home for our children. But one of the rules that we did have was that there was no whispering. There would be no whispering. So Mrs. Finelli and I didn't whisper in front of the children. The children didn't whisper to each other. And the children didn't whisper to mom and dad. And the reason was, first of all, it's impolite. And because of that, it seems to exclude the participation of the others in the room when whispering's going on. It makes the others feel like they're not part of whatever it is that's being discussed, and there's a secret. So we never did it. Now, that leads me to the cell phones. And how often do we see if we're with some other people and then one person gets a cell phone call, almost the first thing they do is say hello while they're walking away. Now, that hello while they're walking away and they discuss whatever it is they're discussing away from the group, to me is kind of like whispering. Now, the person on the cell phone that was next to us who walked away might be thinking, well, you know what? I don't want to intrude the group or the person that I was just with this cell phone call, so I'll walk away. But the person who was standing there or sitting there and is now absent the person on the cell phone is probably thinking, wow, what's the problem? There must be a secret. They don't want us to know or me to know. And that's okay, but it's uncomfortable for everybody. Now, I get calls from men and women. Now, what would my wife think if I just, I was with my wife and let's say there were four of us. Let's say there were two couples, another instructor and his wife, let's say, and me and Mrs. Finelli, and I had a cell phone in my pocket, which I don't, But if I did, and I said, phone's ringing, let me just get, and I walked away. Now, is there a possibility that Mrs. Finelli might think, geez, I wonder if that's another woman? How about that? How about wives thinking, I wonder if that's another woman? How about the reverse of that? And there may be jealousy. It's absolutely needless. But on a landline, when we have instructors at our house and the phone rings, and if I take the call, I don't walk into another room and I don't hide. I may say, Tom, I'd love to chat with you right now, but we have some company. I'll be glad to call you back later. Is there something urgent that we need to discuss right this moment, or can it wait? But what I'm saying is, I think that having these cell phone conversations that are private, and it's almost 100% of the time this happens, that someone will answer the cell phone and walk away as if it's a secret. I wonder if this causes jealousy in the family and then causes problems in the family, because what I'm seeing, Dr. Shealy, is the family is breaking up at faster than ever rates.
Oh, Vince, I'm so glad you brought that up. Only 19% of children in this country, according to the Pew Research Center last week, only 19% of children live with both parents. That means 81% of children live with one parent, if they're lucky, or no parent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The family has broken up already.
I'm going to be careful how I say this. I learned of a situation of this family where husband and wife have decided to split up. And they have a family business. It's basically the family business. And they've decided to split up. What does that mean for the house? What does that mean for the children? So do the children choose, or the children, if they're college age, do they just move out? So we had a cohesive, wonderful, loving family unit. Something happens. The family splits up. And now, and I can see this. I can just see this happening. So he gets an attorney, she gets an attorney, and then the discussion is something like this. So what's new and what are you doing? Well, what do you want me to do? Well, I want you to do something because, we've got to split these assets up, and I've got to know what I'm doing, so let's do something. So one of the attorneys escalates. The other attorney responds in escalation. And now this escalation may cost 20% of the wealth that the family has accumulated in the family business over the last however many years the business has been operational, and the marital assets. So now who gets what? And now there's a war. And the attorneys are just billing each side of the same family to perpetuate this war and escalate this war. And the only ones who win are the attorneys. It's absolutely horrible, Dr. Shealy. And the attorneys what they could do is say, you know what? Let's do nothing. Maybe you guys will get back together. And wouldn't that be nice? But the attorney's financial interest is not in doing that. The attorney's financial interest is billing. So the more hours they can bill and the more pieces of paper they can generate, the higher the amount that is being stolen from the family. And let me say it this way. And this is fascinating to me. When I was in the truck with one of our instructors who sold us our farm 10 years ago, he drove us all around Missouri, and we saw this farm that we're on right now. And we wanted to see some other farms to compare so that we could make an informed decision. And we looked at everything. We hiked miles that day, literally hiked miles, drove hundreds of miles. And at the end of the day, I turned to our instructor, and by the way, his name is Roger Douglas. I turned to Roger and I said, Roger, you've been showing us farms all day. You spent the entire day with us. You've been burning your fuel in your truck. And not once did you say, Vincent, can you afford this? Can you afford any of these farms that we just looked at? We spent the whole day together. He didn't have me fill out any forms, didn't ask me any questions about our income. None of that. Never asked us once. And I found that highly unusual. Because the typical realtor will say, okay, before we go out looking, let's find out, what budget you can afford and let's qualify you and let's make sure we're looking at the right properties and we'll help you. He never did any of that. Never asked us a single question that related to money. Not one. So I said to him at the end of the day, Roger, you haven't asked us if we can afford this. And he said, I didn't have to. I said, well, how do you know? He said, well, remember when I said, so how long have Ewans been married? Ewans is y'all. For Missouri, it's Ewans. In the South, it's y'all. In the Northeast, it's yous guys. But here it's Ewans. So how long have Ewans been married? And we told him, since the 70s. That's all he needed to know. Because he figured that we haven't been taken to the cleaners once or twice. Meaning...
You're right.
That's exactly what he said. And so if you think about it, so you're married and you're working and you get divorced, now you have half. And then you get married again and you get divorced and now you have half of that. And then you get married and divorced. Pretty soon you're at 1/8. Dr. Shealy, are you seeing these signs of the collapse of the family as
oh yeah,
in your neck of the woods too?
Of course, Vince. Look, 41% of all children born in the United States these days are born out of wedlock. 71% of all black kids are born out of wedlock. So when you take that, plus the fact that 50% of marriages end in divorce, that explains why only 19% of children live with both parents.
And it's so sad because I've seen the tears of the young people, the high school or the grammar school or the elementary school children. I've seen the tears when they learn, a few days ago that their parents are going to split up. They don't know what to do. A lot of them think it's their fault. And it's back to the cell phone thing. If I have some female friends, Erin Dakins is a broadcaster here, and Erin Dakins will call me or I'll call her. She's married. I've met her twice. We broadcast together on Fridays. I've met her twice. And, I can see how there could be jealousy on her husband's part or on Mrs. Finelli's part. But I don't walk away and talk to Erin on a cell phone. I don't go out in the front yard. I don't go out in the backyard. I don't leave Mrs. Finelli. I'm right there. If Erin calls, I'm in the kitchen. The whole conversation is right there. If her husband is there when I call her, because we coordinate broadcasts, there's no secret. So neither one needs to be jealous. But I'm wondering, class, if you take into consideration your wife's or husband's feelings when you use your cell phone. Dump that cell phone. Dump it. We'll be right back. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
No way. Is that a real bullet necklace?
No, it's a 9mm bullet necklace with matching earrings, you'll notice.
Those are awesome. Where'd you get them?
Dave found them at patriotnecklace.com.
Wow.
They have a variety of calibers and necklaces and earrings and keychains.
PatriotNecklace.com?
PatriotNecklace.com.
Your choice of caliber bullet includes a rugged American-made stainless steel dog tag chain. A percentage of every sale goes to military and service-related charities. And get a discount by entering GCN at checkout. Show your patriotism and support our troops with a bullet necklace from PatriotNecklace.com.
Okay, open your mouth and say ah.
When your child has a sore throat, you need to know when to get help. The doctor recommended Say Ah Sore Throat Exam is your solution. The scientifically designed oral retractor offers a clear view of the throat, relaxing the tongue and minimizing gag reflex. Compare with a medical grade chart, website, and app. Then you'll know just what to tell your doctor. A wellness plan in your hands in minutes. Go to SayAHHnow.com. SayAhNow.com, the new mainstay for every family's first aid kit.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
The human body is more than 60% water. Your brain and muscles are 75% water. And your blood is 92% water. Water's vital to your body, and alkalizing your water is the key to keep it running at its best. AlkaVision Plasma pH drops keep your entire body healthy, boosts energy, promotes weight loss, and even fights cancer. Call 800-518-7615 or go to alkavision.com to find out more. That's ALKAvision.com.
At 30dayfoodsupply.com, we get a lot of questions, and here are some of the answers. Our products are naturally low in salt, a quarter of many others, at $6.77 per pound dehydrated weight, or 277 calories per dollar. We're one of the least expensive in the industry. Everything is non-GMO and MSG-free. We gladly make free substitutions. Most orders ship the next business day. $99 is our everyday price at both 800-700-2184 and 30dayfoodsupply.com. Our meals are naturally high in fiber, carbs, and protein, and we put a high value on your privacy, and we never use high-pressure sales. Everything is packaged and shipped from our plant in Southern Oregon. Call 800-700-2184 and purchase our 30-day, 90-serving emergency food supply for only $99, and $10 ships your entire order to the lower 48. Visit the website, 30dayfoodsupply.com, or call 800-700-2184, 30dayfoodsupply.com.
We've all heard the news stories. Another shooting, and they're getting worse. That's why Infidel Body Armor introduces Infidel Fridays, exclusive 24-hour insider deals to save you money and possibly save your life. Make it a favorite when you log on to InfidelBodyArmor.com. Then be sure to visit each and every Infidel Friday to get special insider pricing, but for 24 hours only. That's InfidelBodyArmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
Dr. Norman Shealy is with us, and if you'd like to go to his website, normshealy.com, normshealy.com. If you'd like to buy the Bliss oils, they're there. If you'd like to buy his books, they're there. And if you'd like to follow his recommendations for optimal health, they're there. If you'd like to get his free newsletter, you can sign up, and he does not sell the list of email addresses. They're just for him to use to send to you your multiple times per week update about health. Dr. Shealy, I'm so concerned about the destruction of our family, because that is the basic unit that lets our country be strong. And without that, I don't see how we can be innovative. I don't see how we can be as productive. I don't see our moral fabric is being shredded. I wish there was something that we could do quickly to fix the problem, but I don't see it. But I do see that we need to get rid of these cell phones, because I think they're even more destructive than we may think, from the electromagnetic radiation. But just the social aspect of what it's doing to the family, I think we need to dump them. I really do.
Well, I'm with you, of course. I don't have one. Well, I have just a simple emergency phone, an old-fashioned flip phone, which I never turn on except to carry as an emergency, because I travel a lot. Mm-hmm. And I do think when you're out of town, especially, it is wise to have a flip phone.
Dr. Shealy, there may not be a choice, because if you travel and you travel alone, I don't remember seeing any payphones.
Right, they've been taken out. Yeah.
Yeah, in my recent outings, I haven't seen any payphones. So if you go to if your flight has changed or something like that, or you need to make an update, it's kind of tough to do it without a phone. I totally agree with that. But I'm deciding, Dr. Shealy, that I just want to stay home. And another thing that I've decided, and I want to talk with you about this as well, is I think I can cut down the amount of eating out that I do at restaurants by 3/4. I can reduce it. Now, it's not that I go out to eat a lot. I don't. I really don't. But of what little I do, I can eliminate 3/4 of that. And I think that's something I should do, because I found out that eating out, I don't feel quite as right. I don't feel good after I eat out. I really don't. I'm really thirsty. I mean, more thirsty than normal. I mean, really, really, really thirsty. And so I know something's wrong. What do you think? Am I better off not eating out?
Well, obviously that's true. I suppose I don't notice it because, honestly, Vince, I probably, when I am home, don't eat out more than once a month.
That's what I'm talking about, yeah.
Now, when I travel, obviously, it's no choice. But I do want to mention that when I travel, a great deal, especially during the days I'm traveling itself, my lunch is usually nuts and fruit.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's nothing. But you don't have to eat junk, even in traveling.
Well, Dr. Shealy, I can tell you this, that many years ago, you and I were on the air and you were talking about, McDonald's. And you indicated, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you indicated that, if you're hungry, you're better off just keep going. Don't pull in there. Just keep going. And that's what I've been doing. I mean, it's so easy if I'm on the road to just pull into those Golden Arches and buy something there, but I don't do it. I make sure that I bring bottles of water with me. I filter procured water and take it with me. I'll make something to eat from home, and I'll put it in a cooler in my car, and I'll take a bottle of frozen water that I use as to keep the food cool in a styrofoam cooler, and I take it with me rather than buy it on the road. So I plan, and one thing it does is it drives costs down, and the other thing it does is it lets me know that I made what we're eating, or what I'm eating. And it works for me.
I'm with
Dr.
you.
Shealy, and I'll be right back. Yeah. We're going to talk about chelation. Chelation on the other side. Sugar makes us crave more. How to build self-esteem and improve our memories. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit guns80.com, guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
My name is Bill Bonner, and I'm the president of the largest private news and research network in the world. And I paid for this airtime because I have an important message to the American people. There's a change coming that the government isn't telling you about. This change has deep implications for life in America, from where you shop to the doctors you visit and the family you want to protect. Look, I've made predictions like this before. Thing is, I was right then too. A few years ago, I warned that housing prices would collapse. They did. Before that, I warned that .com companies would crash. They did. Those who listened had a chance to save themselves. But this has nothing to do with the stock market. This will affect us all.
You can watch the video for free right now by going to dollardownfall.com. Again, that's dollardownfall.com.
Virtually anyone can hack your cell phone and track your calls, your texts, your emails, your every movement, but only if they can detect a signal. Stay one step ahead of hackers and Big Brother with a Block-It Pocket, a custom-made pocket infused with pure silver that creates a complete Faraday enclosure for your cell phone. For free shipping to the lower 48, visit blockitpocket.com or call 888-315-9618. blockitpocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
KDArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the most affordable body armor period, with packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. Why would you go anywhere else? KD offers soft armor and rifle threat rated armor up to level 4. Go to KDArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free water purification kit for a limited time with any body armor package. Go to KDArmor.com. That's CATI Armor.com. Come and take it.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked. Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com. Dr. Norman Shealy is with us. Dr. Shealy, I was reading this article about this teenager in, looks like he's in India, the country of India. And he's a 14-year-old boy, and he has a disease called progeria. And he is aging at 8 times the normal rate. And so he's lost his hair, he's skin and bones, his hands look like he's crippled with arthritis, his knees are really bony. It's a very, very sad image. I'll put it on the website, usaprepares.com. If you look at his eyes, the whites of his eyes look like he's, a young teenager. If you look at his head, it's bald. It's misfigured, disfigured. It's just so sad. And it seems like we're having more and more birth defects. I was reading an article with, we have co-joined twins, Siamese twins. It's appearing more and more often. Either that or it's making the news more and more often. And I'm wondering about the radiation and the that are in the countries that seem to have more and more of these birth defects. Do you think there's a correlation?
We've been having this kind of stuff now for decades because of chemical pollution as well. Petrochemicals, estrogens, Roundup, junk poison.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I was talking with one of my neighbors about the use of herbicides, and he said what happens is they'll spray herbicides on weeds, and it'll cause the weeds to grow at a phenomenal rate, and they'll die. And I was talking to another guy who was really sick. I mean, he has a really serious heart problem, really serious, and he's really unhealthy, and he spent about a year trying to recover. He's just a couple of years older than I am. And he was showing me his fence line. We were riding around in his truck, and he was showing me his fence line and how it's really nice. It doesn't look like our fence line. His doesn't have any weeds at all under it. And I said, well, how do you do that? And he said, well, he's got this four-wheeler, and he puts a herbicide tank on the back of it, and he sprays it. And I said, so do you breathe that in? And he said, well, yeah, you can't help but breathe that in. And I said, do you think that there's any relationship between breathing these herbicides in and the way you feel? I mean, you said, you were down for a year. And he said, wow. That, you never thought of that. How could we not think of that? Huh?
Now, Vincent, Finelli, all the people I know,
mm-hmm.
You're the least, I would have to say, common sense is the uncommon commodity.
Yeah. We're missing that. And we're not looking. We're not looking up. We're not looking down. We're just not paying attention to the things around us. If someone came to our farm and saw the front of it, they'd say, well, these guys are not paying attention to their fence line along the road. Well, I let it grow up because we live on a dirt road, and the last thing I want to do is have more dust. But it doesn't look nice. It doesn't look pretty. It looks overgrown. And it's a barrier to the dust coming from the road onto our farm and ultimately in our house. But how could someone think that spraying these weeds would not have an effect on them? How could they think it doesn't get on their clothing? I have a neighbor who will mix an insecticide to kill flies with diesel fuel, and he'll put it in a fruit tree sprayer, and he'll go and spray his cows to kill the flies. And it works. But he's covered with diesel fuel because he's spraying it and the wind's blowing back on him. He's covered with diesel fuel mixed with insecticide. And he doesn't understand why he's in the hospital. Dr. Shealy, a lot of my farmer neighbors are dying, and I believe it's because of what they're doing to themselves. I really do. I can't prove it, but It seems like, yes.
In 1955, my chairman of the Department of Medicine at Duke, during one of our morning rounds, said, I am amazed at people who have eyes and see not, and ears and hear not. So, there we are, 60 years ago or more?
Yeah.
And people don't pay attention. They get distracted. They get brainwashed by the media, etc. It takes thinking and personal responsibility. Remember, Vince, 80% of Americans are not happy. 80%.
How awful. How awful. Well, I mean, if you go to a Chinese factory outlet and you say to your cashier, hey, you having a good day? You know they're not having a good day. They don't like, because they all look at their watch and they say they will, as soon as their shift's over, then they'll have a good day.
Yeah.
So you're right. So what do we do, Dr. Shealy? I'm so glad you said this, because one of the things on my spiral notebook about things to talk with you about are building self-esteem and self-confidence. I think that ties in pretty well with being happy. I don't think you can be self-confident to your ultimate ability and be unhappy at the same time.
No, you're absolutely right, obviously. Yesterday, a patient that I had been working in one of my research projects came in with her about 11-year-old son who has autism. Now, I gave her a bottle of Air Bliss 3 months ago to use on the kid. And guess what?
Let me guess.
It does. It's basically, you know what? I think to some extent, the phenomenal decay in the family began with television.
Oh, I agree with that.
And cell phones are the next step after television. Personally, if we destroyed every television station in the world, we would be better off. I'm not saying we should destroy radio, by the way. I do like radio because you can do other things and listen to radio.
Mm-hmm.
Also, radio makes you do much more. You have to create images yourself.
Right.
You have to do analysis yourself. I don't want some idiot in the media telling me how to analyze the news. I just want the news.
Mm-hmm.
I can make my own decisions about what it means. I wouldn't trust them to tell me the time of day.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's an interesting world. And what can we do? Well, we could destroy television or ignore it until it goes away. Interestingly, there was a report in the New York Times a few days ago stating that pop sales have dropped dramatically. Only about 60% of all bottled drinks now are pop. 40% are just water. And it's predicted that within 2 years, water will be sold in bottles more commonly than pop. Well, they make a lot more money, of course.
Sure.
Selling water. And halitosis is better, no breath at all. It's better, I suppose, to drink bottled water. It's certainly a lot better than drinking pop. But it's taken 80 years to begin to turn that around. I mean, decreasing it from 60% to 40%, that still means we got an awful lot of junk being drunk.
I wonder how much of that drop in consumption of carbonated beverages has to do with the younger generation not watching as much television. I don't think the younger generation is willing to put up with all of the nonsensical commercials. I think that might be part of it, but I don't know how much of it. And because when I was growing up, television was the Pepsi generation, Coke is the real thing. And, there were nonstop commercials for Coke products, Pepsi products, cigarettes, more doctors prefer this brand of cigarettes than any other. I mean, it's unbelievable the kinds of things that were being advertised. And I guess we were suckers for it. I guess we bought into it. But maybe the young people not participating in as much television. They've
converted to cell phones, however. Although it may have the good effect of cutting down on pop, it's had the increasing defect of cell phones.
Yeah. And I asked the group, the seminar group, I talked about brain cancer from cell phones, and I talked about the anecdotal evidence, and I talked about, how many of you, I asked them, how many of you experience, a hangover type feeling when you're on the cell phone, or other symptoms, or does your hand cramp up, the one that's holding the cell phone? And 5 out of the group said absolutely, positively, that happens to them. The others, I don't think we're sure, but 5 absolutely said it's true. But at the same point, no one was willing to give up his cell phone. We'll be right back. By now, you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
My name is Bill Bonner, and I'm the president of the largest private news and research network in the world. And I paid for this airtime because I have an important message to the American people. There's a change coming that the government isn't telling you about. This change has deep implications for life in America, from where you shop to the doctors you visit and the family you want to protect. Look, I've made predictions like this before. Thing is, I was right then too. A few years ago, I warned that housing prices would collapse. They did. Before that, I warned that .com companies would crash. They did. Those who listened had a chance to save themselves. But this has nothing to do with the stock market. This will affect us all.
You can watch the video for free right now by going to $downfall.com. Again, that's $downfall.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Did you know that select musical tones have the power to heal? By listening to 7 amazing songs that contain these tones, you can experience the power of music therapy.
I used to work in a pretty stressful atmosphere, but I started using the whole tones in the office, and I'm experiencing more focus, motivation, peace, and better relationships.
WholeTones99.com is a unique music therapy program featuring 7 secret ancient healing frequencies uncovered in the music of King David. Now you too can unlock the healing secrets of the Bible, as we are offering a free sample of this music so that you can discover their power to heal, relieve stress, and break negative cycles.
I use the tones to calm my 5, 3, and 2-year-olds to stop the fighting, and it works.
Now you can experience the healing music therapy in the comfort of your own home or office. Visit WholeTones99.com and get a free song. Visit WHOLETones99.com today for your free song. That's WholeTones99.com. WholeTones99.com.
The human body is more than 60% water. Your brain and muscles are 75% water. And your blood is 92% water. Water's vital to your body, and alkalizing your water is the key to keep it running at its best. AlkaVision Plasma pH drops keep your entire body healthy, boosts energy, promotes weight loss, and even fights cancer. Call 800-518-7615 or go to alkavision.com to find out more. That's ALKAvision.com.
Dr. Norman Shealy is with us, normshealy.com, Norm, SHEALY.com. Dr. Shealy, how can we improve our self-esteem? Be happier?
Okay. I think the single most important thing is to recognize that unless you have murdered, raped, robbed, or purposely harmed someone, you don't have anything to be ashamed of. Now, if you've done any of those four, you need a lot of work. But the average person, at least 90% of people, have not done those things. Then go beyond that, look in the mirror, and say, I'm okay, because God does not create junk. Then practice autogenic training. My arms and legs are heavy and warm. My heart beats calm and regular. My breathing's free and easy. My abdomen is warm. My forehead's cool. My mind is quiet and still. Practicing that for 15 to 20 minutes a day will retrain your nervous system and do more to reduce stress than anything else known now, except Air Bliss. Finally, if you use Air Bliss just once a day, it will significantly restore your oxytocin. Your oxytocin level is totally associated with whether or not you have good self-esteem.
Mm-hmm. And what do we do when we have a boss? And I've been in this situation. You know, I used to have a job, it was decades ago, but I used to have one, and the boss would say, Vinny, I need you to do this. I go, okay. And then a little while later, he'd say, Vinny, I need you to do this. This is important. I go, okay. He'd say, Vinny, this is really important. Okay. And then maybe by the third or fourth thing, and each one of them takes 3 days. By the third or fourth, I'd say, so which one of these first things is first? And, you know, I would let them know that, listen, I can't do all of these things. So which one do you want me to do first? Or do you want me to do a little bit on each one and you know, I'll see you in a couple of weeks. And I would let him know that I couldn't do all those things, and that would eliminate some of the stress on me. But it seemed like that stress is a killer, Dr. Shealy. So that's how I handled it.
And I have to ask the big question in my mind, was he an alcoholic?
I have worked for 2 bona fide alcoholics, 2 of them. And one of them died. One of them literally didn't show up for work one morning, and I think he was in his 50s, and he just died. They found him at his home dead. Not that he killed himself, but they found him dead, and there was no real report as to what happened. The other one was just so mean, and that I went to his boss and said, you know, I really like working for this company, but I don't really want to work for that guy anymore. I'd rather work for this other guy instead. And I think that was the first time that ever happened in the corporation where I was employed, where someone asked to have a different boss. But I got him. I got a different boss. I left the guy I didn't want to be supervised by, and I got a guy that I did want to be supervised, and it was a world of difference, an absolute world of difference. One guy, I would get beat up all the time. You know, Vinny, I want you to go right. Keep going right. I'll tell you when to stop. And then I get beat up for going right. You know, I told you to go left. What's the matter with you? So that would happen, you know, many times a week. Well, the other guy that I worked for really appreciated what I did, gave me the latitude to do. He would say, okay, this is your arena. Here's what you do. We think you're going to do the best job. You're in charge of it. Go get them. And it was great working for that guy because he appreciated what I did. He gave me the freedom, and the stress level went from, you know, 100 down to a normal level, just doing the job level rather than doing the job and getting beat up for doing the job. So I think I saved my life by getting a new boss. Really. I think I did. But I had to figure out how I could get the courage to ask the boss's boss to not be supervised by my boss. And that took a little bit of courage, but that was easy to do because I figured out how to do it. I'll tell you when we come back.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
No way. Is that a real bullet necklace?
No, it's a 9mm bullet necklace with matching earrings, you'll notice.
Those are awesome. Where'd you get them?
Dave found them at patriotnecklace.com.
Wow.
They have a variety of calibers and necklaces and earrings and keychains.
Patriotnecklace.com?
Patriotnecklace.com.
Your choice of caliber bullet includes a rugged American-made stainless steel dog tag chain. A percentage of every sale goes to military and service-related charities. And get a discount by entering GCN at checkout. Show your patriotism and support our troops with a bullet necklace from patriotnecklace.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Hey neighbor, what are you doing digging? You had a heart attack last year.
Oh, I know. I was told no more hard labor.
Then why are you digging?
Well, I've been taking Extendovite. It's been approved to help my heart.
Extendovite? Is that a new drug?
No, not a drug. It's more like an herbal combination made from garlic and cayenne.
Herbal? How can that help?
Well, actually, we've taken herbs for thousands of years. And Extendovite is doing the job for me.
Does your doctor know about Extendovite?
Yeah, my doctor knows, and he said it seems to be working for you, so don't stop taking it. I feel great taking Extendovite. I don't want to stop.
To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS? Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't take on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely. We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS. If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
Hi, this is Walt Augustinowitz. I'm the founder and CEO of ID Stronghold. By now you've heard our commercials about wallets that protect you from electronic pickpocketing. 10 years ago, I created a way to protect my own cards from prying eyes after government officials started talking about issuing a national ID card with a built-in radio chip called RFID. I felt having to broadcast my personal information was an invasion of privacy. Soon after, it was also announced that credit cards, debit cards, U.S. passports, hotel room keys, and even transit passes would all soon incorporate RFID. It was then I formed ID Stronghold to share my inventions in blocking RFID signals with the world. There are a lot of misconceptions out there today about RFID. I encourage everyone to get informed and get protected. Please go to idstronghold.com and get the facts and the wallet, sleeves, or badge holders you need to protect your personal financial data. You'll be pleasantly surprised that through our direct sales model, you won't pay more than other comparable unprotected wallets. It is as though the protection is free. Visit idstronghold.com today.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
We all know that Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light systems system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
So, Dr. Shealy, I had this job, and I had a boss who, no matter what I did, I was wrong, like almost all the time. And I decided that I needed to have the courage to ask his boss to have a different boss. So what I did was I had a house, Mrs. Finelli and I had a house. We each had jobs, and we had income, and we had a mortgage. And so what I did was I bought an apartment building. I increased our debt, and I bought an apartment building, and then I bought another one, and then I bought another one. So within 1 month, I bought 3 apartment buildings. The bank had no idea what they were doing. They lent us way more money than they should have. And so now we had cash flow, and we had enough cash flow that if everything worked, I didn't have to have a job. So I could go into my boss and say, or my boss's boss and say, could I have a different boss? Because if he said, are you out of your mind? You're out of here. You're fired. It would have been okay. Because I had another job, which was managing and renovating these apartments. So that's how I did it. And it was probably the best thing I've ever done, because it taught me about independence. It taught me about, literally not taking direction from somebody if I didn't want to. I could have quit any time after that. And ultimately I did. Ultimately I was in a meeting, and I had a different boss at that time at a different bank. And that boss wanted me to do something that I didn't think I should do. And so I just said, excuse me. And that was the last they ever saw me. I was in the middle of a meeting, and I just said, excuse me. And I was gone.
Oh, folks, why I love Vince. I mean, my kind of guy. Obviously, you were prepared, even back then.
Yes.
And I think that's critically important. I had the same experience. All my life, practically, I had planned on being an academic neurosurgeon, a professor of neurosurgery, Well, during my residency, one of the people was a total crook. That's a long, long story we don't go into. But by going to, I put a stop to $3.5 million of his immoral, unethical research. And then right after that, I was on the faculty at a medical school, and the chairman was an alcoholic. And after those 2 experiences, I decided, there are not enough people in high academic positions that I want to spend the rest of my life with these people.
Yeah, right.
So I quit.
Dr. Shealy, that is such a really good point, because I had a chat with one of our instructors in the last couple of weeks. And we were talking about how you can get caught up in things. For example, things that would be impossible for me to get caught up in because I live out in the middle of nowhere. But if you live and you live out in the middle of nowhere, but for those who live in the city, for example, and let's say they have a professional job. So they have a professional job and they associate with people who are peers, if you will. Maybe you're in a certain profession and you would be in a club of that profession. So you get to meet with these guys and gals and you find out that, there's this golf course and, maybe I should take up golf because they do. Okay. And, they're going to these sports games and they talk about it. And it seems like a bunch of them are talking about it. Well, maybe I should do that too. And then, and they have a BMW. And they really like their BMW. So now we've got the sports games, the BMW, golf, and then they have a condominium, a timeshare. And then you keep up with the Joneses and slowly you get caught up in this and you think it's normal. Well, he was very interesting. He said, it's just stuff. And it clutters your life. And it's not a good thing. And he said he'd be happy without it, without stuff. So I think that we need to take stock in where we are and what we're doing. And it's okay to jump off that corporate ladder as long as you're prepared for where you're going. So what I did was, I knew that I could always just be a full-time apartment renovator and landlord. I knew I could do that because I already was into it, and I was rehabbing these apartments, and it was working. So you can become financially independent. Now, I'm not talking about being rich. I'm not rich, but I am financially independent, which means that I am not dependent on my next paycheck, which I don't even get, to survive. Now, if I need money, I suppose I could go sell some cows. If I don't need money, I'll probably keep the cows and let them get a little fatter. And that's what we can all do. We can all find some niche that we really love doing. Dr. Shealy, you don't work and I don't work. But we do things that appear to be work. But we're just having fun, right?
Exactly. No. I think that if one is not enjoying what one's doing, one needs to make a choice and change.
Mm-hmm. I've been accused of like, what's wrong with you? You're giggling when when you start your broadcast. Well, I'm having fun. and the guys who are accusing me, like, what's wrong with you? They're not having fun.
Exactly.
They're doing it because they have to. I'm doing it because I want to.
Well, I called my old professor from medical school, who was sort of my mentor for years, and I said, Talmadge, I'm leaving academic medicine. He said, Junior, you're ruining your career. But I ruined my career, and I had more fun. Many years later, I was up.
Well, Dr. Shealy, let me ask you: Have you been to any of your reunions that you would consider significant, where you remember those who, like, if I went to my college or university reunion, I might remember 5 people, maybe 3, maybe 1, maybe not even. But high school, I certainly remember. Have you had a reunion with, that was significant where you remembered a whole bunch of the people that you went to school with?
Well, medical school, yes. I actually, we met every 5 years until our 50th anniversary, and I think I attended 8 out of the 10 reunions, and I knew everyone there.
Mm-hmm.
But there were only 80 people in my class.
Mm-hmm.
And
so my question is, what did they think, or how did you stack up with your life? And I'm not talking about, digits in the bank. I'm talking about quality of life, what you chose to do compared to what they chose to do. How did that stack up?
Well, now there's a totally different thing, of course. I think in general, I could say unequivocally, I've had more fun and enjoyed what I've done more than at least 90% of them.
Right.
And outlived, well, I think at this point, about 2/3 are gone.
Right. And in terms of controlling your own direction, you were number 1, right?
Oh, yeah. I've got to feel that what I'm doing is worthwhile and that I have at least significant control over my life.
Mm-hmm. Right. And that is so important for our class to understand that, you just may not, well, you may have to do what you're doing right now, but you may not have to do it for the rest of your life. You can choose to create a path that will take you to where you really want to be. If you love fly fishing, if that is the thing that you think is number 1 and you would do that all the time if you could, why not start a company that relates to fly fishing. Maybe make some lures. Maybe make some YouTube videos. Start selling them part-time on the internet. And then, once this takes off, then maybe you can quit that job at the Chinese factory outlet. Dr. Shealy, I'm looking at the radiation that just refreshed the screen. Let me just share this with our class. There are more high-level alerts than when we first started. So where are they? Oregon, Idaho, California, Texas, New Mexico, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Maryland, New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Maine, Michigan, Indiana, Wisconsin, for starters.
Here, I just looked up statistics that only 6% of doctors say they're happy with their jobs.
6%.
They commit suicide at twice the rate of the general population. Here's another one that says 9 out of 10 doctors discourage others from joining the profession.
Wait, 9 out of 10?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, I can say that I believe that has gotten exquisitely worse since Obama became president. I think he has exacerbated the stresses and strains. I wrote a book way back when, 23 years ago called Third Party Rape. And in there, I talked about the problems of the insurance mafia. I consider the insurance industry, the medical insurance industry especially, to be one of the most evil organizations on the face of the earth. And so it's been coming on for a long time, but there's just no question that the problem has gotten epidemic, and I'm talking about a serious epidemic.
We come back, I'm going to share a story with you about a man I met who has post-traumatic stress disorder. And I talked to him about the possibilities that he was having.
How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Hey, Berkey Guy here. Are you still drinking unfiltered tap water? Does your water contain chlorine or fluoride? Will you have drinkable water in an emergency? The Berkey Guy is here to help you remove these and other potential contaminants from your water, thus helping you drink clean, purified water. We offer Berkey water purification systems at the lowest available prices online. Don't go another moment without a Berkey system. Over the last 10 years, we've helped thousands drink clean, purified water. Join them by visiting goberkey.com or call me, the Berkey Guy, at 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653.
Okay, open your mouth and say ah. When your child has a sore throat, you need to know when to get help. The doctor-recommended Say Ah Sore Throat Exam is your solution. The scientifically designed oral retractor offers a clear view of the throat, relaxing the tongue and minimizing gag reflex. Compare with a medical-grade chart, website, and app. Then you'll know just what to tell your doctor. A wellness plan in your hands in minutes. Go to SayAhHNow.com. SayAhNow.com, the new mainstay for every family's first aid kit.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Hey neighbor, what are you doing digging? You had a heart attack last year.
Oh, I know. I was told no more hard labor.
Then why are you digging?
Well, I've been taking Extendivite. It's been approved to help my heart.
Extendivite? Is that a new drug?
No, not a drug. It's more like an herbal combination made from garlic and cayenne.
Herbal? How can that help?
Well, actually, we've taken herbs for thousands of years, and Extendivite is doing the job for me.
Does your doctor know about Extendivite?
Yeah, my doctor knows, and he said it seems to be working for you, so don't stop taking it. I feel great taking Extendivite. I don't want to stop.
To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares Unfiltered and Untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares Untapped and Off the Grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Most of us already know that taking a fish oil supplement to boost omega-3s is a good idea. But did you know that about 60% of Americans are actually deficient in omega-3s? Did you know that most fish oil products contain only about 25% omega-3s and the remaining 75% is undesirable fish fat? Heck, did you know that more than 90% of fish oil supplements sold in the USA are not even made here? If you want to boost your omega-3s using the finest American-made fish oil, check out Nutrigold Fish Oil Supplements on www.fishoil.best. Nutrigold fish oils are independently 5-star certified and guaranteed to be exceptionally pure. That means no more fish burps. Best of all, just one Nutrigold fish oil capsule contains more omega-3s than 4 standard fish oil capsules. Go to www.fishoil.best or call 888-920-1497 and use promo code BESTFISHOIL to get a free 1-month supply. That's www.fishoil.best or call 888-920-1497. Healthy, organic, fresh fish, robust, mouth-watering vegetables, all from your home. It's called aquaponics. This brilliant, self-sustaining protein and veggie system is perfect for year-round growing. Know exactly where your food is coming from. Aquaponicssource.com is the one-stop shop for all your needs. Fish, fish food, plumbing, full systems, classes, and more. Learn to build your own system. Go to aquaponicssource.com for a free guide to aquaponics. That's aquaponicssource.com.
So, Dr. Shealy, I met this man, and he had this magnificent dog with him. And the dog had an interesting collar in it. It had the words PTSD support animal or something like that. But it was PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. And he appeared to be about my age, Vietnam era veteran. And I said, so is this your dog? And we started chatting for a little bit. And he said that he had PTSD. And he's doing really well now. He said that he can now go outside and be with people because before he couldn't. But he seemed really, really fragile. Really fragile. And so I asked him if he was taking medications, and he said, yeah, a lot of different medications. And I asked him about statins, yeah. Antidepressants, yeah. And I said, I'll tell you what, there's a man I know that has had great success with people with PTSD. His name is Dr. Norman Shealy. And if he'd like, I would give him the phone number to call into this broadcast this very day, today. And we would spend as much time as we needed to help him. Whatever it took. We would do that right on the air. And I said, I believe Dr. Norman Shealy can help you. And I believe that he absolutely will do his best on air. And you're not alone. And it's the same kind of thing, different words, but the same message I hear over and over and over. Well, I trust my doctor. I trust my doctor. He's doing fine. I trust him. I'm not interested. I said, okay. Dr. Shealy, I hear it so often. I met a man over the weekend who is dying of cancer. And he was given 6 months to live. Mike Parsons, who was with me at an event, talked with him, and he said, well, there are a whole bunch of people here that can help you, and there's us at USA Prepares. We can, point you in directions that you may find really helpful. You may find an answer. Now, I trust my doctor. Dr. Shealy, I hear it all the time. People are closing their minds to getting help. They're not, here this man has been given a death sentence, and he's not interested at all in getting information that may prolong his life or make his life better. Are you seeing this too?
Oh, it's quite typical. That, basically in 1971, when I decided to restrict my practice to the management of chronic pain, something like 98% of my patients had 5 to 7 unsuccessful back operations. Now, to me, that's malpractice. The number of successes with a second spinal operation decreases by 50%. And so it goes. And my feeling is that conventional medicine is really pretty good. Overall, I give it a B for acute diseases. And I give it a D to close to F for chronic disease. Once the acute situation is over, if they don't do well, they should look to some kind of alternative. It's safer and in the long run cheaper.
Can you suggest how we can attempt chelation for removal of heavy metals?
Chelation is no question about it. You can do it orally or intravenously. Orally takes a lot longer, but it can work. And it's EDTA plus DMSA.
Okay, and that's on your website, right?
Right. Oh, no, that is not on my website. They'd have to get in touch with me.
Okay. All right, well, why don't we do the next broadcast together
let's
about
talk more about
chelation.
chelation then.
Yeah. Dr. Norman Shealy, normshealy.com. Dr. Shealy, thank you so much for being with us. Class, above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you. By now, you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Attention, all men. Are you urinating more frequently? Do you wake up to urinate? Are you having a slower, weaker stream? Don't ignore the warning signs of your aging prostate. Get your free bottle of Super Beta Prostate. Super Beta Prostate is guaranteed to support a more complete emptying of your bladder, a fuller, stronger stream, and less waking at night to urinate.
Super Beta Prostate is a product that I really like. I endorse it. I use it myself. I was very pleasantly surprised that Super Beta Prostate helped me fairly quickly.
Super Beta Prostate is formulated with a natural plant enzyme called beta-cytosterol. It's so powerful, you'd have to take 100 saw palmetto pills to get the same sterols as just one Super Beta Prostate tablet. Don't ignore the warning signs of your aging prostate. Call now to get your free bottle of Super Beta Prostate.
Call 1-800-853-1203. That's 1-800-853-1203. 800-853-1203.